Hello, I'm Molly. I'm the Artist Programs Director at Riska, and today I am going to walk you through how to fill out the budget form for the Community Engaged Project Grant on the Make Art Grant. So the first thing we're going to do is find the template. So I'm going to navigate over here to arts.ri.gov, Riska's website, click Grants, into our grants, and I'm going to scroll down until I find the grant program that I need the budget for. So I'm going to click into here to make art grant. These are all the grant guidelines. And right here on the right side, you can see all of these templates. So I'm going to click the artist budget template and it's Excel spreadsheet. So it'll download. I'll open it up. This. Here it is in Excel. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to insert my applicant name here. So for the purposes of this, I'm going to use my alter ego, Erica Musterman, who has applied, is working on a grant application called Viewpoints and Climate Change. So here is my name, Erica Musterman. And then I'm going to write the project name, which is the same project name that Erica will be using in her application. Viewpoints and climate change. All right, and because I'm paranoid about things, I'm going to go ahead and save this now as Busterman_budget. You can use whatever naming convention you'd like. I already have one open, Busterman Budget 1. So the first bit is I'm going to actually skip the income and jump right to the expenses because I need to know how much I'm going to spend before I know how much money I need to come in. So I've already written the majority of the grant application. I have my project plan ready to go. So I already know about what I need. So the first thing I'm going to do is payment to applicant. And I'm going to write in here in the budget notes side how I got to the numbers I got. So I know for this Viewpoints and Climate Change project that the applicant, Erica Musterman, will be spending 3 hours in rehearsal every week and 1 hour of solo work per week for 12 weeks. The total of 48 totals 48 hours. And the pay rate for this, I'm going to value this time at $25 an hour. The amount of money that the hourly rate that you allocate for yourself or your co-artists can vary widely. So really just do your best. We also know that based on the budget constraints of this grant, you might not be able to pay yourself what we would consider a fair wage. And I'm going to hit wrap text up here and resize this just so we can see it. And then 48 hours at $25 an hour is $1,200. So I'm just going to put it right in here. And you can see there's formulas already in this Excel, so it shows up down here in the total. I don't have any, based on this project, I don't have any administrative fees, but what administrative fees would be are things like a grant writer, somebody who's just working on marketing, somebody who's just doing your finance, right? A person or an outside service that's helping you with this grant in ways that are not artistic. The next piece is outside artistic fees. For this sample project, Erica Musterman has 2 collaborators. So we're going to put in the collaborator stipends here. So I'm going to write in the budget notes, collaborator, if I can spell it right, stipends for the 2 artists, and I'm going to name them Maria de la Cruz and Admi. These are both people who are identified in the application. And they are also both going to be working 48 hours each of work at $25 an hour. And again, I'm going to do the same thing here where I wrap the text and I resize my little cell so you can see the whole thing. And then I've already done this math, right? I know that 48 hours times $25 an hour is 1,200. Since it's two people, it's twice that. So it's 2,400. I'm going to enter it in here. Again, you can see how it auto-tabulated. Outside technical and production fees. Uh, there aren't any for this particular project, but that would be things like if you are sending your work out to a printer or a framer, or things like if you're doing live performance, hiring a stage manager or somebody to run the light board. Advertising, PR, and marketing, again, not in this grant project, because the project is really just the project itself is just to create a script. But advertising, PR, marketing would be if you are making copies of flyers, the design fees for the flyers, any social media sponsored posts, website hosting fees, etc. In-state travel and transportation, food and beverage. If you're including in your budget any of those items, you would put them here. Please note that RISCA grants can never be spent on alcohol, and the food and beverage have to be integral to the project and not a part of a fundraising event, like a gallery opening may have to be part of the creation. Space rental and utilities. So for the purposes of this project, we're not spending any money on space rental or utilities because we have had space donated from 1031 Studios. But if you're renting a rehearsal studio or your art studio, etc., that would go there. Materials and supplies and equipment rental. So for this project, we do have that. And what we'll need to purchase for this project is planning and rehearsal supplies. So for this, you don't need to be super specific. You don't need to list out, I'm going to buy 3 pencils and they'll each cost 20 cents. So I'll be spending 60 cents on pencils. You just need to give your best guess, your best estimate. So for this project, I think it's going to cost about $250 in planning and rehearsal supplies. And those supplies will include things like large paper, Sharpies, some costumes, maybe some props because this is a performing arts project. Again, I'm going to wrap text and I'm going to make this there. So you're really going to want to just give your best guess here, and that's fine. And we understand and expect that you won't be spending, they probably won't spend exactly $250 on this. Just keep track of it. Insurance, again, if you need insurance that's specific to this project, you'd put this here. Taxes. So for taxes, just so you all know, for project grants, the revenue income that's coming to you, this is taxable revenue on your taxes. You should be reporting this as income. However, if I get this grant, this $3,850 will be coming directly to me, but then I'll be sending it right back out. So I'll be paying my collaborator $2,400 and spending this $250. So I would report those as expenses on my Schedule C. This means the only bit that would really be taxable is $1,200. For the purposes of this grant and even numbers, I am not going to indicate taxes here. I'm going to put that as not a cost of the project, but just a cost of my regular performing artist life. But you are welcome to put the taxes that you'll need to pay here. And then other eligible expenses that might not be listed here, check those in. Then, if you have ineligible expenses, which are listed in the guidelines and are things like that alcohol that I was talking about earlier, out-of-state travel, things like that, those would go in here if you're going to be spending money on that. So then we have our total cash expenses, which are $3,850. So for the purposes of this project, since it is a Make Art grant and what this budget is relating to is a project that is not going to result in a public presentation, There's no other revenue coming in, and that's totally fine. So I'm actually going to enter the entire request right here in the Risco request amount. And see now we have 3850 here, 3850 here, and it tells me the project budget is in balance. If you are going to have revenue in any way, which means you're completing a project and you're going to have ticket sales, that estimate would go here. If you're getting a grant from the City of Providence or Rhode Island Humanities or some other area, that would go here in contributed revenue. For example, if I knew I was applying for a grant from Rhode Island Humanities for $1,000, I would put $1,000 in here, and then I would say applied for a mini grant because that's the name of their grant program from RA Humanities. So this is indicating that I've applied for the grant, but I haven't received it yet, so I don't know what's going to happen. So this is just an estimate. My project budget is now not in balance because I have $4,850 of revenue in, and then only 3,850 out. So then I would, if I am applying for other grants, then I would update this here to just look like this. And again, we're back in balance. So that is how, and then I'll, so yes, this is important. Then I'll go ahead and save this, and then I'll save it as a PDF because you'll need to upload it as a PDF. So the easiest way to do this in Excel is to just go to File, Save As, and then here where it says Excel Workbook, so here's the title, I'll scroll down here to PDF and hit Save. And then I have my nice PDF. And that is how to do a risk budget.